Alright, I think it might be interesting if I talk like this for the entire video, since we talk a little bit about Britain, so I'll talk like this. If you don't like it, that's your fault, not mine. So what your homework is look at this. We got right here on my website, we got homework and resources. Go to homework and resources. Look at this, beautiful, right here. Causes of World War II DBQ packet PDF. When we view that, it's all the documents for the DBQ that we're working on. Causes of World War II DBQ packet .pdf. There's the background essay you've already done. There's the questions that go along with the background essay. There's some buckets you might want to use when you categorize. That's part of your homework, is categorize the documents. How could you group this document? What label could you give it? So for instance, if it talks about territory, maybe you could make a box called territory. So that's part one, is categorize the documents. So when we go through here a little bit more, one way to be able to categorize is by looking at the documents. Try to answer the questions here. Look at, you've got some questions about the territory that Germany lost. So document A is about the territory. Maybe on your own. You don't have to turn it in, but if you want to answer the questions, answer the questions. So it'll help you analyze documents each way. A, B, and C. So I'll scroll all the way through these. You can pause it if you want to, so that you don't even have to go to look at the PDF. I'll just go nice like this, and you can pause it whenever you need. So at document F, you only have documents A through G. The reason we have these documents is you're going to answer the question. What was the main cause of World War II? That's up to you. You've got 7 documents you can pick from. You can say, this was one cause and this was another cause, but the main cause of World War II was this, and then use evidence to prove your answer. That's where we go to the next part. Where did I do with it? There it is. Write a thesis paragraph. That's the introductory paragraph. This is your answer to the question. What was the main cause? The main cause was Martians landed and they wanted to see what happens when we fight each other. Whatever your answer is, just use evidence from the documents. Prove your answer. So document F has a couple of photographs. You've got sources here you've got to pay attention to. You've got dates that will be helpful. You've got notes that will explain things. Use the documents. Use the proof in the documents. Quote them directly. You can even type it something like this. Let me make you an example. You can say, there were many causes for World War II. The main cause was... Let's see which one we think it will be. This one's talking about unemployment, how production declines. So we've got declining economic activity. That's what we think is declining economic activity. Document D, which we see right here, document D, which is the effect of depression on Europe from various sources. Document D shows, let's see, decline of up to 30%. So we've got a 30% decline in Great Britain. A 30% decline in Great Britain. So this isn't the best example to show you, but if I was going to give an exact quote, for instance, let's say I use this: European nations had borrowed heavily from the USA to fight the Great War. And I want to quote that, I would say, European nations borrowed heavily from the United States to fight the Great War. And this is from document C, so what I'm going to do is put in parentheses, since I've quoted word for word, document C. So that's how it works. We use the documents to prove our argument. And whenever we directly quote, it makes it easier to write, because all you have to do is use somebody else's words. Just make sure you quote it. You tell me where you found it. So that's the documents. That's the first part of the homework. I'll undo all that. Don't need all that. I won't worry about it right now. So that's the first part, is categorize the documents and write a thesis paragraph. A paragraph generally is 5 sentences, so aim for that. Have both of these ready to go on Tuesday. Do not do the categorization. We're working on it again on Tuesday. It will be very bad for you if you don't have it done. At the minimum, have the categories done. But since you're doing that anyway, write the thesis paragraph. That takes us then to the next part, which is when you have some note cards. Pick one of these dates. When do you think World War II, sorry, not World War I. World War II. When do you think it started? Did it start in this year, in this year, in this year, and so on? Pick one. Then use your resources to provide evidence. Write a brief defense. It started in 1937 because it became something more than just a regional invasion like Manchuria, and it became actually one nation against another, and that is a world war. Give a definition, defense, an explanation. Provide some evidence. Why is that the year, or why is that the year, or why is that the year that the war began? Then pick a date for when you think it ended. Well, once Germany surrendered to the Soviets, it was over for them. They lost their will, they had no other troops. That was the real end of the war because they couldn't keep fighting after that. So once you've got the date you think began and the date you think it ended, write a brief defense on your own paper. Remember, you're already going to have a piece of paper where you've got categories and you've got the thesis. Then just maybe flip the paper over and use it to provide a brief defense. Then you've got it all. It's sort of like a rough draft for you. You've got 2 index cards now. On one index card, write 2 reasons why you think it began in, let's say, that year or whatever. 2 reasons on the index card. Doesn't matter what side. Put them both on the same side. Then write 2 reasons on the other card for why you think it ended. In the year that you think it ended in. Make sure you have those done because we're going to be putting them out on the tables. Oh, there's the bell. But class is still in session. Don't go anywhere. So I'm going to have papers out and you're going to choose which years, and then you're going to put your index cards on what years you think it ended and what year you think it began, and we're going to have a nice big class discussion about it. Then on the paper where you've got this and this and this, on that paper, write 2 reasons why you didn't select this year or this year or this year or whatever other years you didn't choose, and then 2 reasons why you didn't pick whatever other year out of here you didn't choose. So explain why you didn't pick those years. That's not just, well, I think it didn't happen in this year because I know that it ended in this year. That's not what I'm talking about. Why? Give a reason. Well, I didn't pick 1939 because really that was just one country and it was a world war once Germany actually attacked Britain. So I didn't pick 1939 because that was just a small part of it. I really think the war started in 1930 because that's when Germany started going after the last free ally. Or I didn't pick 1943 because the war was still going on. They surrendered to the Soviets, but they kept fighting. They didn't even surrender for another 2 years after that. So that's why I didn't pick February 1943. That's what I mean by 2 reasons on your own paper for not selecting one of the other dates. I hope this all makes sense. I hope the video was helpful. It was 8 minutes worth of a video of me talking like a fool, but hopefully it made some sense to you and you'll have some really bang up good, great stuff, some really crackerjack adjective things for you to turn in your work on Tuesday. Be ready, and I hope you'll have a great weekend.